Hello and welcome to Michael and Ivanka's Grand Podcast. I meant to say episode 179 of Michael and Ivanka's Grand Podcast, a weekly podcast where we talk, figure out what we think about everything. My name's Michael Forrest.
And I'm Ivanka Majic.
And this week we're going to talk about fitness and we're going to reveal whether we are jocks or nerds. I don't know. We can't be interested in fitness. We talk about computer stuff. Oh God, I'm really peaking my microphone. I'm sure it'll be fine. What do you reckon? What are we going to talk about? Because you've been doing your swimming.
I've been doing my swimming. I've done 21 days in a row of at least 1,000 metres.
Kilometre?
Yeah, a kilometre.
Or is a kilometre 1,024 metres? Nerd!
Then I've been doing my swimming. And I bought a kettlebell the other day.
Ooh, what weight?
I haven't used it yet.
What size? What size?
8 kilos.
Okay.
I went to see a friend and she's like, I have this 12 kilo, this kettlebell and it's great for stuff. And then she gave me this 12 kilo kettlebell.
Oh, okay.
And I just went, ow. I was like, it gave me too much back paranoia. And so we decided, Nick and I, that we would get that. Given my back situation, I would go low first and get my confidence up, and then go for 12. I just got really scared of it, to be honest.
I'm trying to think. In my gym that I used to go to, they had, I think the 12s were blue and the 8s were pink. And then maybe the 16s. I can't remember if the 16s were blue, but
turquoise.
But it was like you sort of didn't really want to be. It was a bit of a. I don't want to be doing the pink one though. But then they replaced all the kettlebells with like ones that were the same colour, but it was just a bit disappointing because they're all different colours, and that is the sort of level of discourse you can expect on this podcast.
When we were in the shop though, quick next door, my daughter decided that the 2 kilo one looked really cute. She wanted one. So we walked out the shop where she had a 2 kilo kettlebell and I had an 8 kilo kettlebell. So that's what we're going to be doing kettlebells.
Kettlebell comparisons. Who's got the best kettlebell? There's my old studio mate I noticed has left some sort of heavy doorstop which feels like it might be 20 kilograms, which I might have to take home as a kettlebell. But I need to weigh it and just see what it is and then figure out how I'm going to get it home on my bike. I once carried 20 kilos of floor cement stuff in my bag, and it can do it, but I don't want to punish my bag. This is rambling. Anyway, I'd say I'm pretty fit. I focus on it. My resting heart rate's like 50, so that's all right, isn't it? So we both do a bit of stuff. So let's just get on with it. Let's get on with it.
Let's talk about it.
How's it going? How's it going, Ivanka Magics?
It is going. I'm quite happy.
Happy.
I feel quite rested. I feel like my brain is relaxing. I actually picked up something and read something the other day.
Finally,
my brain's
relaxing.
kind of come through the fog of freshness. And we went off the island.
Oh.
One of our rare trips off the island. To a shopping mall because the child needed her very first school bag.
Ooh.
So we bought her a school. She was very excited. I was very pleased with her, the speed at which she made a decision and then went, can we go now? Because we'd made it, they sort of advised that, we've got to big up the beginning of school and make it a really positive, like, well, we're going to buy you a pencil case and a bag and it's going to be all yours and you get to choose. So we did all this like big outing to split, to go and find a thing. And then she needed shoes as well. So it was like bag, pencil case, shoes. We did go into the fitness shop and buy the kettlebells I've already mentioned. Right. And then she was like, can we go home now? Can we go home? Can we go home? I was like, that's my girl. There was none of this, can we go and have a look around a toy shop? Even the bag shop even had Lego. And she had a very quick flit around the Lego and then came back and went, I think we've spent enough money today. Probably says more about my parenting than about her as a person. But anyway,
when the rebellion comes, the rampant consumerism will begin, I'm sure.
Maybe she's really quite kind of like. So we took, and then I went to the garden centre and bought loads of plants.
What size? Like growing ones. Did you get anything good?
Yeah, ones to grow. Yeah. I got some flowery things. I got some more lavender. A couple of my lavenders have suddenly just gone and decided that they don't want to live any longer. And so I bought some lavender. I bought some, because if you go to the local garden centre has a very limited choice. So if we go off island, we have to do all the jobs. So I went there, and I also got a couple of nice big terracotta pots from my balcony. So it was rampant consumerism, but it was very focused. I don't know. I didn't need. Do I need a terracotta pot? No, but it'll make the outside of my house greener and nicer. And it was really big, and they had these Italian from Tuscany. Madam, these ones are very attractive, but they were literally 10 times more expensive than the locally produced, very plain terracotta. So I voted with my wallet for the cheap one. That are also very nice. So I'm feeling. Then I've been sleeping. I've postponed my book way out into September. Get rid. So I am. And I did a little call this week. I've had loads of nice things. Also did a little call with a friend of a friend, really, or son of a friend, who somebody had made him a website, and he's really miserable about it. And it's in Squarespace, which I've never used. So I said, look, why don't I do a shared screen call with you and show you how I would go about solving it? Yeah. So, because we forget, I think, those of us that are nerdy, that, a pencil icon is quite meaningless to many people. You know what I mean?
Really?
So I just he just doesn't know where to start, to break down the problem. So anyway, I showed him how to change a few things, and he was like, well, very grateful. You could tell he was just relieved, because he'd understood that he should be able to do the Squarespace on his own, but couldn't fathom it and had freaked himself out. So I did a good deed.
You just told him, it's not your fault, it's their fault. Just remember that.
Just relax. And it's just a website. Doesn't matter. It's not you. Because he was like, I'm embarrassed to show this to anybody, and I'm trying to promote my business. And I was like, first of all, it's not embarrassing. It's fine. But secondly, it's not actually you. It's just a website, and we can fix it. So relax. So I gave him a little pep talk. So he's quite jolly. There you go. That's my week. How's your week?
Oh, God, I'm making noises. I'm sorry about that. That says podcast time. I shipped Shoot 3.0 last Friday, and I just remembered that. So I have got myself a second little fellow to celebrate that. So it'll be the last one for a little while, but I got a little Megatron as I'm showing up to the camera. So I like my little Megatron. So I gave myself a little Bumblebee for Squares TV, and I gave myself a little Megatron for doing the shoe tap. So basically, I've had a bit of I just thought, right, that was the reason. The thing that was stopping me having a break was I just wanted to get the ball rolling on this pivot, on these new things, and then I can take a bit of a breather. So this week I've been taking a little bit of a breather, waiting for Monday to see if, it's got a new icon.
Oh, yeah, you have to wait.
It's got like I could look every day. I could be looking already, but I try to just look once a week, because otherwise I go crazy. So I'm sort of waiting for Monday to see what those numbers, if I've moved them at all, because it's like a new icon, completely rewritten copy, some new screenshots again that are a bit more blah blah blah, some new features, a new in-app purchase model as well. So maybe I'll make loads more money, maybe it'll stay on the decline and I'll get depressed. We'll see. But I think
tune in next week.
Yes, well, I've done what I needed to do before I could feel comfortable about sort of having a bit of a breather. So that's what I've been doing this week. I've been reading the 4-Hour Work Week and sort of seeing that stuff and trying to think, because there's some stuff when you're not and I think it worked, that thing of, okay, I'm going to front load all this effort, I'm going to limit how much time I'm going to spend on it, and then just get it done, and then I'll have space afterwards, instead of just letting the time because the way I've been working, particularly with Dungard, is just put in a consistent amount of time each week, each day, but that's sort of sometimes you just need to do a big crunch and just kind of get something done. And so I went, okay, well, I'm gonna set an aggressive deadline and meet that, and then I'll have like space, and maybe I will not fill up every spare minute with more work. Maybe I'll try and figure out how to do something different. Sort of after reading that, so I'm sort of trying to figure out what I want my life to be, and actually what is there after work. Like, if I can't hang out with Sharon, if I'm not working, then it's like, who am I? What am I? Like, what is my life? So I've just been, and I thought, well, yeah, one thing I can do, since Sharon's like working, then it just means I can go on slightly more adventurous bike rides up steeper hills and things like that. Although Sharon's been really good. She's been like cycling everywhere this last week. So I'm impressed. And that does play into fitness, into the subject of the episode. But yeah, I went up to, I've been just like packing a little chocolate bar and taking a sort of half-hour bike ride up to the top of, up Hampstead Heath or wherever, and just like sitting down in the grass and having my little biscuit, and then going back down again, or like going out in the morning to the coffee shop or whatever, and just trying to just sort of have a sort of easy, carefree existence for a bit as I wait to see if I'm making any money, which I'll find out on Monday. So yeah, that's me. Feeling all right.
Sounds good. Sounds like you've had a nice week. I, unfortunately, have had a delivery person arrive to the house to collect something.
Okay.
Right now. So if I run out and give it to them, because I'm the only one that can communicate.
Okay, I'm going to press F4 and we're going to watch this clip. Okay.
Bye.
Oh no, the music looped. Ivanka's just still off doing her signing. So this is me. I'm going to do an advert. So if you're interested in live streaming, or you want to sort of have meetings where you look better, then you can go to clean.camera in your browser, and that will take you to the app that I keep talking about, which lets you just use your iPhone as a camera. So either in OBS or Ecamm Live or something like that, or in Zoom, which is what we're using to stream now. This is the footage. If you are on Twitch, is not from my camera. This is like the ugly footage that you have if you use your Mac's webcam. But yeah, we've got that. And if you're interested in, like, I guess relatively nerdy stuff to do with audio and video production and streaming, things like that, I've spent a lot of time working on squares.tv, and I've got an interview coming up with DJ Decane that I just recorded last week, which is very interesting, where we talked all about his crazy sort of house DJ set. And yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to come out soon. So if you come to squares.tv, you can subscribe. Join the mailing list so you don't miss anything and just get involved. And Ivanka's back. Hi, I just took the opportunity to do an ad break while you were out getting your delivery.
What did you advertise? Squares.tv?
Clean.camera, shoot.clean.camera /feed, and squares.tv. I mean, so yeah, there we go. So fitness, onto the subject at hand.
Luckily, I'm really fit, so I could race up the stairs with the package.
And you're not out of breath now, because that's the worst thing about being unfit, is being out of breath for ages from doing anything.
My mum, when she was here, she said, because over sort of 5 years, literally over that slow period, she slowly lost 10 kilos. And she's saying the difference to being aware that she was carrying the extra weight. She said it's so much easier to walk anywhere,
right, when
you're not carrying an extra 10 kilos.
10 kilos is plenty. That's more than your kettlebell.
Yeah, it is more than my kettlebell. I ended up walking around the shopping mall with a 2 kilo kettlebell, and people started asking me what I was doing. It's like I'm just helping the child. But yes, fitness. I take my fitness quite seriously, I think, but not.
Me too.
But then there are people that take it, I think, super seriously. So I don't know. I don't think I'm on the. I don't like being unfit.
Sure, yeah. Well, that
point.
sucks, doesn't it? Like, you just can't do anything. Like, it helps with the stamina, it helps with the not being out of breath. It's like, I remember I worked with a very unfit person once who, we were in this office that was in, it was like near St Paul's Cathedral. It's on one of those back streets, and you had to go up the stairs, and her sort of like unfit person joke was like, oh, I did all the stairs from scratch. It's like, I feel bad for you that's a way you have to think about going upstairs. But then actually, like going from the bottom all to the top in one go without having to stop and wheeze, sort of like that kind of thing is a bit depressing, right?
Yeah.
But definitely. But then again, actually, stairs are a pain. Like when I first moved into Sharon, I'd not lived anywhere with stairs for ages. Well, I could go up the stairs to the flat, but like that house is all stairs. But you get used to it after a few days, and then it's not a problem anymore.
We've got lots of stairs here, and my cousin came to stay with her professional footballer boyfriend. And he was like, "How do you guys live with all these stairs?" I was like, "Mate, you need to have a word with yourself." But the what I define, I think maybe one of the topics is I like to measure my fitness. Maybe I don't like to measure my fitness. I like to measure the things that I do. So I like this swimming, this new fangled let's swim 1,000 meters a day thing. I like having the watch that measures.
Yeah. And does that tell you the distance then, the watch? You were talking about your GPS and stuff, weren't you?
It's got I've got my GPS. I'm not sure that it's always super accurate because of water and because whatever. But I think it's certainly... It'll show you relative distances as well and speeds. Like so I do like that. I don't really look at things like stroke rate. Like a lot of these devices give me more information than I'm interested in. I'm not an athlete, so I'm not in that fine tune my stroke rate type thing. And I'm also
I doubt the device is doing a particularly accurate job either.
No,
I think that's
so I don't really bother about that. But I do like I like challenging myself. So, for example, I've been looking. So I have fitness flippers from before, which are really short flippers, and they're supposed to help you. They provide more resistance, but they also help you go faster, so you get a sense of achievement. Okay. But it hurts. So when I'm practicing front crawl, which, as we know from last week's story, in which I came last in a race, but they help you kick more properly. Basically, you can't so I mix and match doing a bit of trying to get better at something as well as just doing something. And so and there's definitely the feeling of if you do forget to put on your fitness tracker when you do your workout, it's like it doesn't count. Oh well, you haven't done it then, have you?
What was the point of that?
I got in the sea yesterday. Nick and my daughter went off to a further away beach. So I thought, I'll swim to you, and then you can go on the bicycle, and I'll meet you there. And I thought it was about the right time, and I just got in the water and pressed go, and it flashed up low battery. I was like, no. Though I will say for this, I do have this Garmin watch that I replaced my Apple Watch with, and I have to say it's got the smarts to go. I've got enough battery to record 2 hours worth of swimming. Like, do you want to proceed? Sort of a thing. You know what I mean? It's not. It's definitely an outdoor exerciser's watch. In my.
No, that's good. View. I like that sort of thing. To give you something useful.
Yeah.
So tracker-wise, you've got your Garmin. I've got my. So I was paying for my expensive gym for a while, and I still have and that was my first time doing strength training, doing like dumbbells and kettlebells and all that kind of thing. And before that I'd just been mostly a runner, and then when I was younger I would just secretly do press ups and things in my room where no one could see. But as I think like a housemate back in like 2011, like I sort of went, come on, you got to go out and have a run. And I got into the running. Then we used to run around Bronsbury Cemetery. Is that right? Is it called Bronsbury Cemetery? Yeah, it must be. And sort of gradually, and then I like running because it's you can't really cheat. Like on a bike, you can sort of cheat. You can coast, or you can sort of just avoid difficult bits. But running, you sort of kind of, even if you're being lazy, you're still like having to put quite a lot of effort in. But I used to use Runkeeper, but now I just put on the fitness tracker I have from my from the gym, mostly because I mainly because I've got like Hall of Fame status from consistently doing it for so long. So we're like gold, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and Hall of Fame, I think, is the last one. So I've sort of completed that game. But I think
yeah, go on.
So I think there's two ways to sort of approach fitness. There's the people that are training for a marathon or training for some event, or there's people. I prefer this approach of I just want to be consistent and keep doing it all the time so that my baseline fitness level is pretty high. Because I feel like, what do you think? Like this thing of like you're training for an event and then I feel like there's got to be a temptation to slack off once the event is out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I've done events, like I did that Oxfam Trail Walk, and I've done the longer that bike ride, the Dunwich Dynamo 2 or 3 times. But I didn't, wasn't really training for them. Do you know, like the walks I did for Oxfam Trail Walker, it was just, Trail Walker was like a way of seeing if my general Saturday 40k walks added up to anything useful when you did 100k. And we did a bit of so the where event has not been something to work towards, but rather a like a measuring point.
Right.
And can I do this?
Can I do this now?
Can I do the Dunwich Dynamo? Do I cycle enough to do the Dunwich Dynamo type thing? And so, but I could. But then I suppose if an event gets you started in fitness, then I suppose if that's what gets you moving to start with, that could be a good thing.
Yeah, and definitely there's the main, and as we were just talking about off stream, like there is this a very it's very pronounced, like this object at motion remains at motion thing. Once you start and you're in the routine of working out in whatever way it is, it's like riding the exercise bike, going for a run, going for a swim every day. Once you've got started, it's sort of like easier to keep going than it is to stop. And that to me is like if you stop, I think it's much harder to start again, especially with running. Like it just like that first run after you've not run for a couple of weeks is harder than you want it to be. So I've always just thought it's better to be consistent and keep doing it. And I should probably sign up to one of these things once in a while just to see if I can compete.
You can do it. But I think it's two things I was going to say. One, because I pretty much all my exercise apart from Pilates, which I took up sort of remedially to help with my back, pretty much all the exercise I've done has always been outdoors. I have had gym memberships, but I'm more of outdoors. So therefore, then there's a seasonal adjustment, because I can't run here in the summer unless I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I don't want to do that every day. So I shift activities. But then I did that run the other week, the 5k, and found it surprising. I was quite pleased with how easy I found it. It wasn't a particularly fast run, but it was I took it in my stride, as literally. But there is this thing about if you want to exercise, or I think there might be a mood thing as well. Like I'm just not in the mood for running at the moment, but I am in the mood for swimming. But so I don't,
Okay, so I guess it doesn't. So what you're saying is it doesn't necessarily have to be the same activity in order to preserve the momentum.
I think it's activity,
of some sort.
But now doing this, like being quite religious about the Michael Forrest school of habit forming, and doing 21 days in a row of swimming, I can feel the progress.
Right.
And I am reluctant to not do it on a given day.
Yeah, because it's like
It's like,
You've got a
because
number
also,
now.
it lifts my mood. It
Yeah,
really,
definitely
really does.
It's
Without, I mean, it
absolutely-
all, I feel so much better. And the swimming seems to suit me. Like, I will often get a headache after a run. And I never have worked out whether it's the movement or it's the because I've got back problems. I think it's to do with that. So like maybe I hold my neck at a funny angle or something.
Right.
I don't know. I've never quite worked it through, but often and then I'm like, oh, I haven't hydrated properly. Something's wrong. So which doesn't happen to me when I walk and swimming even on a really hot day is really kind to your body. To me, suits me. So I don't feel any ill effects. I just feel like I've exercised rather than sweated half my body weight out.
Well, we can have a little break and talk about injuries next, I think. But actually, I find going for a run is a really good headache cure.
Oh, really?
If I wake up with a headache or something, if I do some exercise, I'll after 10 minutes, it'll have gone. So I guess everybody's different. That was a video of Hampstead, like a pond around Hampstead somewhere, Hampstead Heath. I was just going to talk about this, the problem of going at it too hard and then getting injured and then not being able to, certainly running, if you go at it too hard. I have this problem if I don't run for a while and I want to push it, but I know if I push it, I'm just going to end up hurting myself, and then I'm gonna have to get back. I'm gonna have to get like 5k back the other way, and my knee's feeling a bit funny, and I'm like, and then I'm gonna lose 3 months of being able to run. So that's quite a hard balance to strike, really.
Yeah. I think that is I on the one hand think that sometimes I don't push myself hard enough. It's like I know I can do this, so I'll do this. And without the pushing yourself, you do need to push yourself because your body gets good at a thing, I think. So you don't see any change, you don't see any progress. But then I also think that my reluctance to be injured or to like a bit like this morning I woke up really like just achy, tired, and I was like maybe I swam too far yesterday because I did this 1,700 meters in quite choppy sea. But then I just had a really good breakfast, potter around the garden, and I think I can do it today because I don't because I also do intermittent fasting very often.
Okay.
And so today I was like, do you know what, I really need breakfast this morning. And this is a complete tangent, but Nick caught a big fish this week.
Okay.
And we smoked it.
You smoked
Not
it.
as in treated it, cured it. we didn't use it as a hallucinogenic or anything, but it's really tasty. So I had
smoked fish. Imagine
smoked
that.
fish, sauerkraut, and homemade bread for breakfast.
What's your favourite? Sorry.
Go on, what's
Sauerkraut. What's your favourite injury you've done? Mine was like the back one is always the scariest, and you're obviously in a different category to me. But because I was going to this gym and I had like small group personal trainers, and so you're sort of like pushing yourself on the way. It was when they had like every 3 months or something, they'd have like a like what measurement day kind of thing, like what can you lift. Thanks for that beeping outside. I need a new studio. I need to sell some more apps. I don't know what to do. I'm just going to keep talking. I can't actually concentrate with this beeping.
I'll tell you my injury
tell
story.
me and I'll mute my microphone off. Go on.
The thing that I did, my worst thing that I've done to myself through exercise was doing a 60-kilometre walk for charity. We did it in something like 10 hours or whatever, 12, I don't know. And then I passed out at the end.
Oh my God.
My mum was really angry with me. But I don't know. She phoned my sister and she was like, well, I've got to pick up Ivanka. She's fainted. So, but it wasn't like something that then made me ill the next. I just couldn't, every time I stood up, I passed out again. For about, I don't know, like half an hour, 45 minutes. They fed me, they gave me salts, and I just kept, in the end I persuaded this medic. I was like, look, just let me crawl into my mum's car. I won't stand up. And then by the time I get home, I just need to warm up. I need to go home. I want to go home. Anyway, so I did. She said, well, if you can get in the car without passing out, you can go home. So I basically crawled literally without trying to stand up, raising my head too high into my mum's car.
And were you wearing a very, very tight corset?
No.
Okay, so it wasn't that.
I don't think it wasn't that. I think what I'd done is I'd basically drunk too much water.
Ooh.
So I'd messed up my... But I'd only been sipping, well, you know, I don't know. I messed it up.
That's never happened to me.
I messed something up. After that, because the other thing that happens to me when I exercise a long distance, like I do big walks or even quite a short run, is my hands swell up.
Okay.
Which is fun. I don't really hate it. It's very uncomfortable. At the end of that walk, my hands were like spades. They felt really, really huge, and I kept passing out. But it's never happened since. I'm much more conscious of making sure. You know how people talk about, oh no, I only eat this and I only do that and I only have this. I'm like, leave me alone. I'll do my thing. If I'm gonna have cheddar cheese, hummus, peanut butter sandwiches whilst I'm doing a 100k walk, that's what I'm gonna eat. Leave me alone. So I think there is an element of individuality and understanding what you can and can't do with exercise.
Yeah, definitely. Like you've got to know your limit, and you've got to not like. Yeah. So all I was going to say, that you. And then I think it's when you are starting to get a bit competitive. For me, it's like when I'm probably gonna. I think everyone can identify with that. Really, like as soon as you start getting competitive, is when you're probably gonna make a mistake. And I know I did that like with the I don't know, like 100 kilo or whatever, like 100 and some. Did I do it? Maybe it was 100 kilos, like deadlift kind of thing.
Ton.
And just
big
like
one.
And you just, I'm like, it's not like, ow, I've hurt myself. It's like, oh, I didn't feel quite right. I'm gonna keep going. And it's like, and then like the next day, you're like, God damn it, I don't want to be a sciatica person. I don't want that in my life. Oh, God. But yeah, so like weights is you're going to do something to your back. Running, you're going to do something to your ankle or your knees. Swimming seems pretty good then. You might just drown though. You might just...
might
Walking,
drown.
you're going to get big spade hands.
Spade hands. But I do like the walk. I've just got better at it. If I use sticks, I can avoid it. It's about keeping the pressure, and it's very hard to remember to walk around pumping your fists. Apparently soldiers are taught to press their thumbs against their fingers as they march to stop it happening. But I can't remember to do it. I never, even when I'm running. I can't find a very sensible explanation other than circulation or low blood pressure.
My understanding was that, like, almost like walking is hardly worth doing as a exercise because we're so efficient at walking that you're not going. Well, if you want to burn calories or lose weight, certainly, like, we're so efficient at walking that it's hardly worth doing it for that reason. But I don't know. That's 60 kilometers is a lot more.
I think if you go for like. I mean, Nick and I struggled to. We've worked out ways of like going for a run together, going for a walk together. I run too slow for him, and he walks too slow for me.
Okay.
Like we're going for it's still a fitness walk. Come on, chop chop, and then he speeds off with running. I'm like, I'm not going to fuck off. I'll see you. So and we don't. There's I think finding I don't know about your walking doesn't help with fitness thing.
Well, I think I think to an extent, but it's almost like if you want to burn a lot of calories, if that's your goal, then maybe that's the difference. It's like you need to do something where you're actually going to be out of breath and breathe. Hey, here's a quiz. When you exercise and lose weight, where does the fat go?
I don't know, Michael.
All right. Well,
when you exercise and lose weight,
I will answer the question of where it goes.
Cliffhanger. Yeah.
Do you know, I went to the V&A, spent most of the morning on a Wednesday morning, like in the V&A museum, and I saw the little miniatures, and I was like, maybe that could be my hobby, making little miniature things. I love little miniature things. The answer to the question, it comes out as carbon dioxide. You breathe it out, so it reacts. The oxygen reacts with the fat, and you're so basically you can tell if you're burning fat because you're breathing out, you're exhaling a lot of carbon dioxide. You're out of breath. So there you go.
So it contributes to global warming.
Yes. I mean, I don't think anyone's in any doubt that human beings are contributing to global warming.
I didn't think it would be in the form of burning fat through exercise. No, I don't think that's it.
Let's get rid of the cows doing that first, and then we'll deal with the humans.
There's a couple of things left, I think, that we, or topics that were in my head that I thought we could talk about.
Well, we've got one more music break left, so we've got to fill two more segments, so let's hear it.
Okay. One thing I was going to talk about was shifting and learning about new things when it comes to exercise. Like, I want to do more weight-related stuff. Yeah. I'm very conscious that I am a almost 47-year-old woman. If I don't start getting on top of my muscle building, then it's not good for aging to just be concerned about things like weight and watch my heart rates and things.
Yeah. You need the muscle.
So
you need muscle going. It's good for the back, I think. Even if you can avoid the injury, then you're just going to have a better, stronger back.
I mean, I do the Pilates is about muscle, and I am strong, but I feel like I need to. I'm not very strong. I have very rubbish upper body strength. So even when I do a lot of Pilates, doing press-ups is really hard for me. I've never been very good at them. So that's partly the inspiration around the kettlebell. It's like if I could find something that I can do often and easily without going somewhere. That's one of my, also that was part of like, if I get my daughter one, she will do that and already is doing mummy, let's do kettlebells. Because she's quite, so that's, so like, I think because I'm not an elite athlete, I'm quite happy to, I don't have a sport, which is mine.
So how are you, but how are you approaching learning the strength training?
Well, I'm a little bit, I would happily pay for some sort of trustworthy app, I think, but I'm a little bit, when I watch people, I've looked at a couple of YouTube videos. Nick has done kettlebell classes in the past, but I think I found a class locally. There's the swimming teacher that I do like learning from a person. Yeah,
and I would be very scared to try and learn this strength training stuff without a person to go, hey, lift your hips, bum in, chest up, come on, because it's so easy to just not be aware of your posture and what you're doing. And so I did it for like at least 2 years before I was brave. Well, because of the pandemic, I sort of started doing it on my own, and sort of got my own weights and things. But still, it's you sort of sometimes catch yourself. It's like, no, that wasn't. Come on, Michael, form, because you sort of just got up and there's no one watching, and so many times when I've been in the gym and someone's gone, come on, back straight. I'm like, oh fucking hell! Like if I was on my own, there was no way I was going to notice that. No. And then the other side is they will push you a bit more as well. So I think probably I do it with an app now, but I think I tried to push myself, but like I think a lot of mornings you just sort of like do what you can get away with just naturally instead of So.
I did when I do, because I'm not doing Pilates over the summer because my Pilates teacher, she's in the Caribbean because she's from the Caribbean, so she's gone back there from Brighton, and she said we couldn't find a time that I'd have to do it at midday here, which in August and July is not practical due to the heat. So but I've been doing Pilates for years, but doing it with a teacher who goes, breathe in, and you're like, how did you know that I wasn't breathing in? She's like, no, we all do it, everyone does it. It's impossible to be perfect in your execution, and working with somebody or having someone talking to you constantly reminds you to sort of like pull your shoulders away from your ears or whatever it might be. I think the newly found swimming teacher seems to run a women's weighty training-y, kettlebell-y class. So we'll see.
I do have to say, like, you know, those sort of strength Pilates body things, like, sort of from a masculine perspective, it just feels more like you just want to pick up some weights and like you sort of, I guess it feels good, but actually, like, some of those body weight exercises are some of the hardest ones, like they're just holding still and staying still. But it's like, and if you sort of don't want to feel but it just doesn't feel as macho, or it doesn't feel as like as it doesn't feel like the same kind of progression, because you sort of want to go, well, I used to only be able to do this with like 8s, and now I'm doing it with 15s, like the bicep curls and things like that, and you sort of feel this sense of progress. And I think maybe there's some time saving, I don't know, like we talked about ages ago, didn't we, like the tiny little kettlebell, the tiny little dumbbells for women, that just means you have to do 10 times more reps to do anything.
I do remember watching. So Pilates, you definitely can see progress, so you can challenge yourself for sure to do a particular exercise or execute it really well, or whatever it might. There's some really hard stuff, and even as somebody who's quite, certainly been doing it for a long time, I get a great deal of pleasure from, like I said, I hadn't been able to do a roll up for ages, and then I could do one. It's like, God, not lost the basics, but weights definitely has that promise of a faster reward, or a reward in less time.
Yeah, but sorry, there's a jackhammer going off outside my window now. Honestly, like, this is becoming impractical, this studio. Like, if I can't record this podcast, maybe we need to do it
nighttime recording.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to change it to when they're not working. And then it puts me off. Like the weights thing is that it's nice in a gym as well, because they've got a rack with all the different weights. But if you're doing it at home, you've got to either you've got those weights that you have to unscrew and change the weights of, but then I'm just always trying to optimize, because you'll do it in like 2 or 3 sets kind of thing, and you don't want to have to change the weight between each set kind of thing. So you're like, okay, if I balance out the weight and then I can change the number of blah, 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 and then I can sort of make this work. But it's nice in a gym, you just go, okay, that was a bit easy, I'm going to take this, like, the next weight up. But you have to sort of choose which weights you're going to buy as well. So for ages before I stopped going to my gym, I was like, which ones would I buy if I were to buy one pair of dumbbells? And I sort of eventually settled on 15s, and so that's what I've ended up with ultimately. So at home I've got the 15s, and I've got some like modular 10s, and it's like, that's okay, but sometimes I'm like, I kind of want some. It would be nice to have a heavy kettlebell and a, you can't do that, like the barbell thing where you're sort of weighing it up and sort of progressing through those weights if you're at home, unless you want to spend an awful lot on equipment, and then you don't move house with that stuff,
No, we've got some. Nick's got weights that you screw off and change the weight of them.
Yeah,
but they're not very ergonomic, I think is the word. And also the other thing that I'm working towards, and why I don't think I'm going to end up buying loads of weights, is the fact that they've got a good outdoor gym here that is free to use. So it's got all different bars and stuff. If I was just a bit stronger, I mean, I can't even do. I just need some more strength in my upper arm. What my winter challenge, I hope, will be is working towards doing chin-ups or pull-ups.
Pull-ups are the worst, and actually, like, all that time at the gym I was like, I could do like maybe 1 or 2, and because we didn't do them every time or that often, but now, like, because they kind of come round a bit more because I'm doing it at home with this app, I'm going to boast now and say that I can do like a good 5 from hanging, and it feels good. But they had this, and sometimes even a couple more than that, and that I'm very proud of.
Bravo.
Let me play this last break, and then I'm just gonna That was the V&A, I just sort of thought I'd look at them making the new thing. Oh, the noises. Apps, I use this, the apps are fine. I use this one called Fitbod, which it's just like it's so much cheaper for an app subscription than it is for a gym subscription. This one's sort of got the Apple Watch thing, but it's I don't know. That's really I have to take the watch off for doing the timed ones because there's bugs with the synchronization and things like that. But I always have to edit the workouts every single time just to put them in groups. But I don't know. Like so I wouldn't necessarily say go out and get this one straight away. For runners, I really liked like. Something that was really good is Zombies Run, this app where you have it in your headphones and every so often zombies are chasing you. You have to run faster. I liked it, but I found it a bit too like hard because I was used to just I run at my pace and that's fine. And I kind of go a distance, but when you're sort of having to like run as fast as you can every so often, it's like, oh god, this is exhausting. Yeah. And plus the voice acting was a bit like EastEnders, and I didn't love it, but it was fine. But yeah,
I recommended that app to somebody. I never used it, but I was talking to somebody last week, and she's one of those people that doesn't move very fast unless she was talking about swimming in the sea, and she'd seen something and she was convinced it was a snake and it was a plastic bag. And I was like, did you at least pick up the plastic bag? She goes, yes, okay, then that's fine. I was like, if that's what motivates you, get the zombie running app. I hear that's quite good for making you run faster, if only through fear. But
and I can boast that I was once, as an application making luminary, I was once on a panel with Adrian Hunn, who was the founder of that company. So it was me, Adrian Hunn of Zombies Run, Michael Forrest, creator of Happiness, and some other guy who had some other shit. I don't know. It's a thing. So, that was when I haven't been asked to do a talk for ages. How do I sort it out? These noises. Okay, have we got... Right, so, you did sort of mention perhaps the vulnerability. I don't know why... I mean, the problem with exercising in public, out in the open, where people can see you is... At school, if kids are going to take the piss, they're going to, if you're running wrong, or like, it's very easy to mock someone when they're exercising. And I think it's, if you can get over that, once I got over that fear, I was able to just like do it. Because the good thing about running, like even if someone did want to laugh at you, you leave them behind very quickly. So who cares?
Plus, you're the one running, and they're the ones standing there, not running, laughing, so they can do one. It's not one of my favourite expressions, the do one, but that's a different topic for enough. I don't know where it came from. But
and then exercise clothes. You got to have how nice do your exercise clothes need to be?
That is, I think, part of the problem of the sort of the gym, the yoga, going to studios, going to gyms, the embarrassment. Like, even if you're going to enter an event, you might come last in the swimming race for the parents or whatever it might be. So I think there is some sort of, I'm too unfit to go to an exercise class, or I'm feeling too fat to go to an exercise, whatever it might be. And I think that it can be hard to put yourself out there. I mean, I personally, when I exercise, go approximately the colour of beetroot.
Yes,
which I don't enjoy.
Otto laughing at me for being red as well.
Yeah, and people do laugh at you, and you're like, well, I know maybe it is funny, but it takes a bit of, I don't know, time and confidence to sort of get over the whole, I do look ridiculous. Now I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon at work kind of with a sweaty face and like wet hair because I've been for a swim. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here for my perfect complexion and my not beetroot face. I'm here for what I'm going to say or think about. So leave me alone. So
it's a weird thing. I once I've been, in terms of like going out, I don't know, someone was, when I was sort of single, and someone said, you should go to like a yoga class. There's loads of girls there, and so I did this. I did this thing of going to like this local place, and I just went into this room to do like this Pilates something or other, and I swear I was like the only male person in that whole building, and it was like, oh my lord, what am I doing? I hate this. But I sort of went through it, and I sort of like tried to have a sense of humour about it. But like, talk about like testing my comfort zone. That was kind of terrifying. And then you don't want to. You're just going to seem like a creep if you start talking to people, I think. Too. Well, I guess. I mean, if you start like, I don't know, predating, then you're going to seem like a creep. If you're just a person, probably fine.
People go to fitness classes. Like I was, what's wrong with the idea that you're going to meet somebody or make friends with somebody in a fitness class? But everyone, I think it's finding the right one. And I think, having been involved at the Brighton Natural Health Centre for such a long time, it's like creating the space for people to pause and have a chat after a class is actually harder than because in class it can be quite creepy, especially if you're I don't know, as we've discussed previously, I'm quite good at just starting conversation with random people. I don't care. But people can think you're a bit of a weirdo, especially in London.
Or like, I don't like it when I see a guy like sort of going to help a woman like with her something or other. It's like, you don't know her level, you don't know what she knows. Get out of there. Stop mansplaining this to her. I don't know. Trouble is, I was such I've my feminism is an understanding, and like my vision has improved so much since that period of my life. I'm sure I would be very different if I tried it now, but definitely like I think one of the things that I got out of being a member of this not overpriced but expensive gym for a while was they did do these like sports days, and I did like it was a lot for me to commit to it, but there's nothing like kind of being on a team with some people to at least have a little bit of a chat with people, and then but then there was so much, but I think like I sort of started to get, there was a bit of a drinking culture afterwards that I couldn't quite be bothered with, like, and then if they did just have a night in a bar, I was like everyone is like everyone's like, there's so much testosterone in the air from the booze and these like trainers that like sort of jacked up personal trainers that it wasn't really my scene in the end. Like I couldn't quite do it, but I like the sports days, and I think it helps when you can be a bit competitive because you've been. For me, my secret is just I just think if you can be consistent with it, then like if you are faced with a competitive thing, then you're going to do all right, I think. Even
that's why I thought I was going to be all right with the parents' swim. I wasn't.
Oh, it's fine. It was good. It's the taking part that counts. Forget about it. Next time
I rewatched it. I rewatched it. At least they didn't leave me like at the start of it. I was behind, but not halfway down the pool behind. So,
but some of those Olympians, so you see some of those Olympic races, and some of them are getting lapped, and you're like, this is an Olympic athlete that qualified for the thing, and they're getting lapped by some of the other. So like, it's amazing, like even among that sort of top level, like even how much difference there can be. So I won't worry about it too much. I noticed that you mentioned doing a triathlon with Nick last week, and I think I didn't quite notice because I was like, I want to do a triathlon, and I didn't.
We made one up.
Yeah, I want to do
one.
That.
Well, it was actually a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I don't know what the proper order for triathlons is, but we based it around where Kit was, and the fact that I did not want to go on a run with wet clothes in the sun, or a bike ride. So we did the swim last, but I felt really good afterwards. I think it's the difference. And I surprised myself with how fast I tried to cycle up hills. He chose some route that was uphill to start with. That's always gets us into a row. But I just took it on the chin and didn't complain. I was like, and also I was on a kid's mountain bike because my mountain bike has got a flat tire, and we haven't prioritized fixing it.
Well, I don't shit with gears, so I just go up the hills on the one bit gear and just use the powerful power of my legs. Yes, I just go whatever. Right. That's it, isn't it?
I think we're fairly jockey in conclusion.
We're like I'm sort of
reasonably.
Like, I care about my fitness, and I don't mind saying it now. And like what the gym thing, the weight training was like the last frontier for me, and I'm glad I I'm glad I did it, because now I feel like, when that film, I want to be like a 70-year-old buff guy,
Yeah.
like out that film.
Yeah, what was it? The vegan.
There's something deal. I never remember the name of it, but we always refer to it. But I'll put it in the. There's going to be a description. There's a web page. It's all good. Let's have a final. Let's do the outro, shall we? Thanks for listening. If you like the podcast, go to grampodcast.com. You can watch it live on Twitch every Friday morning. There's a button on that website, grampodcast.com, where you can follow, and that's all good. Where can people find you on the internet, Ivanka?
People can find me at Ivanka on Twitter.
Splendid. You can find me at Michael Forrest on Twitter. Twitter's good for complaining, but I think I shouldn't complain on Twitter. But that's what I do sometimes.
Is that what you do?
Sometimes I complain. I saw a thing about don't complain yesterday, and I'm like, I should probably not complain, especially not on Twitter. Anyway, Twitter, and come and find my app. Clean.camera is one, and come to squares.tv and join in that thing. Don't miss what I'm spending all my time on. And this frickin' Roadworks. What have we got? Anything else?
I'm going to go and Google Fitbod app now.
Yeah, have a look.
And see
also,
if Nick want to play with it.
Also, they're very don't put your email in somewhere or something, but then don't buy, and then they'll immediately send you like a 50% discount and stuff like that. So just play that game. They seem pretty keen on getting it. I need a new studio. It's what I'm feeling like today.
So this is the building they knocked down the other week. They're now building a new one.
It's a whole building site. They're doing a road. They're doing.
That's not going to get better for ages, is it?
No, and it's a bit worrying.
We have to maybe just shift the time.
Yeah, or just try maybe. I don't know. Can I move into the other room? Would that be better? It's still only one window. I don't know. Anyway, come and support us on Patreon so that we can have more money. I've got no money. Look, I'm an entrepreneur. I've vaguely found product market fit, but I am not making money. Although this is probably, I'm spending a bit more than I could be. But whatever, Michael, shut up. Let's go. We'll see you next week. Have a good one. Take care. See you next week. Bye. 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 Bye.